Welcome to a busted play, an illegal use of hands to the face short. Hayden, do you think Tim Tebow is going to make the Jaguars' 53-man roster?
I don't, I don't know if I want to say clearly either way. I think it's up in the air, really. I really don't think based off how he's gonna play in training camp or practice or we're gonna have preseason games. So I mean that's Jaguars preseason games. That's gonna be fun, but I feel like they're going to have some packages designed for him. If they decide to start implementing practice and devoting time to packages for him early in training camp, he has to make the roster because of that. What's difficult here is that I don't know how early they're going to do that. And I just don't know how all this is going to play out because I don't think he's not a good practice player. Everything we have ever heard is that he's a terrible practice player. So I don't think based off how he plays in training camp is going to be what gets him on the team. And maybe not even necessarily in preseason games because as we know, the magic comes alive in the fourth quarter with him. But if he doesn't have 4 quarters to develop the magic, then what happens there? It's up in the air. It's questionable, right? So because he's only going to be in for what, like a quarter, maybe 2 quarters in the preseason game he sees the most action. So I don't know if it's going to be in terms of just actual play during the preseason and in training camp. I don't think he should make the roster, but will they have plans for him? I think they've already got plans for him in mind where whether it's financially because of how many jerseys they're going to sell, where it's package wise because of some sort of special play design that literally isn't because it's actually like a dangerous package. It's just because, well, if we run it once a week, then the other team has to devote time to actually thinking about it. And that's the best part about having him on the team. And honestly, I hate the argument from some people that it's like, well, how's he going to get the 53rd spot on a roster? You have 53 guys. You need all of them to be contributing. I can tell you that even if you want to say that Tim Tebow doesn't deserve it, if I watched through every game for every team, I can tell you that there's at least one guy on every roster that, based off his play, does not deserve to be on the roster. You want to go. We have to go back to our Buffalo Bills because it's the only team where I watched every game for them last season. Based off Lee Smith's play, is there any way that you can say Lee Smith deserved to be the 53rd guy on the roster? It's just not a big deal, okay? You talk about the first 40. If you had 14 guys on the team where it was okay, there's a ridiculous number of guys on this roster that don't deserve to have an NFL job, and it's just paying tribute to something they did in the past, then it becomes an issue. It's one guy. Every single team has a guy that doesn't deserve to be on a roster. So from that standpoint, I'm more arguing now that it's not a big deal whether he makes the team or not, as opposed to whether or not I think he'll be on the roster. But to answer your question, I would say that I think he is going to be on the roster because A, they make a ton of money based off him being on the team, and B, the idea of putting those packages in, whether successful or not, are kind of a piece that could give them a tactical advantage in terms of wasting other teams' practice time and other things like that. Even if they aren't too successful in the games, I do think they will run those packages.
Mm-hmm. I'm firmly planted in the camp that he's going to make the roster. One, just financially. I mean, the Jaguars are going to bring in a bunch of money from jersey sales. I mean, he's already... I think he's the number 1 selling jersey as of now since his number got released. People just love Tim Tebow, especially in Florida. The second part of it is, I don't think Urban Meyer would have gone through the trouble of getting in touch with him, telling him that he wants him to play tight end for him, and then have giving him enough assurance that Tebow would retire from baseball and then spend time changing his body to be a tight end and then come and do these practices and waste as much time and deal with the media circus that they would with Tim Tebow to not put him on the roster. It just seems like there's too many steps to get him on the roster or to get him in shape to be able to be on the roster to not keep him there, especially with the little amount of money they're paying him. And to your point exactly, Tim Tebow could just be like a Lee Smith guy. Lee Smith was there to be a locker room guy. Just, yeah, he's a vet that is good at blocking, that could show our receiving tight ends techniques to block. That's what Tebow can't bring that part. He can't bring an aspect to show. But the aspect he does bring, like you said, is he takes time away from other teams' game plan of, oh, let's game plan around Trevor Lawrence and DJ Chark and Travis Etienne, James Robinson. You have to have time devoted to
stupid amount of time that you don't want to take to talk about it.
yeah. Ran 2 plays with Tebow there in Wildcat for him, so we have to have some time with our guys preparing how to play Wildcat because it seems like NFL defenses just lose their mind whenever a team has someone that isn't quarterback in at quarterback for them. And also, I think Tebow could have a significant role, not significant, but have a role on special teams. I mean, he was the PP for the Jets when he was on the Jets. I don't know why Urban Meyer can't let a bigger, bulkier Tim Tebow still have that role and have him run down the field on kickoffs.
Yeah, I think he can do that. I don't have any issue with that. The thing that I'm like really wondering about is like we think he'll make the roster, but neither of us think that he'll make the roster as like actually because of any tight end ability. Do we? Yeah, no. See, that's the weird part about this. So why are we even like marketing him as a tight end? Do you think it's important to market him as a tight end?
Just need to give him a position, I guess.
Yeah, I know, because it would be weird if they just put slash or whatever on the sheet of paper. No, yeah, it's definitely weird. It's a very unique situation, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I want to see if he actually ever touches the field, like actually lined up at tight end. I would be really surprised if that happens more than like once a game. If he got like 20 snaps, live tight end snaps, I would be shocked this season. 20 live tight end snaps. Although like the goal line formations, that type of stuff, just to be stupid, like totally, I could see that. 4th and 1, bring him in.
Have him in at fullback.
Yeah,
Do the Jags have a fullback on a roster? That could be his role.
I don't know of a fullback on the roster. No, I don't. I don't know if Urban Meyer wants one. So he's single back at Ohio State. I'm just trying to think of like guys that came out. I feel like Ezekiel Elliott's the guy like that I actually remember watching the most at Ohio State. I feel like that was mostly single back sets, but I mean, it's not like I'm watching Ohio State enough to actually remember.
Well, Urban's got to advance to the NFL. You need a fullback on your team.
Yeah, you need a fullback in the NFL.
If you're gonna have a fullback, why not have it be Tim Tebow, who can play 4 different positions for you? You could be the personal protector on punts. You could play tight end, come in there, be your wildcat quarterback, even be a player coach too.
I know. Who throws a better ball, Ronnie Brown or Tim Tebow?
Ronnie Brown.
Oh Lord. That's not good. Man, no, I don't even know where to cut this off. It's just it's fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah. It's going to be fun to see where this goes. I can't wait till more tape on him in camp comes out.
I can't wait for preseason. That's for sure. This is going to be the most exciting preseason ever.
Oh yeah.
All right, you all set?
Yep. I think we can cut this here.